Giving all glory and honor and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, Makar Kadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach us 100% truth. Shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000, the rest of the men, women, and children, the great multitude. I'm your brother Magan Shalamar. This video is being inspired by me watching beloved elder apostle Tahar, who said to make more videos in the next 24 hours pertaining to the micro C-hip. So this video I found is pretty old, from 11 years ago, but it goes into what the RFID chip is and how it looks and how it's going to be placed into the body. So this is a fair use, not for monetary gain, but for educational purpose only, fair use. So the book of Revelations is the visions that Apostle John the Revelator received from Yahweh Shai while he was in prison in 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 the Isle of Patmos. And visions represents something. Okay, so we're going to start off with Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea." The sand represents the Isle of Patmos, where John was in prison at an old age. And the sea represents the Mediterranean Sea that surrounded the Isle of Patmos. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. The beast represents people. And this sea that the beast rose out is also dealing with people. And let's get a couple of precepts about the beast, that it represents people. We can go to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 18. "And I said in mine heart concerning the state of sons of men," there are three classifications of sons of men. You have the sons of God, which are the Israelites; the sons of men, which are the heathen nations; and then you also have the sons of Satan, which are the Edomites, the so-called white man. It says that the Most High, which the name is Yahweh, might manifest them, and that they might not, and they might see that they themselves are beasts. Let's read it again. "I said in my heart concerning the estate of sons of men, that the Most High might manifest them, and that they might see that them themselves are beasts." So these other nations are considered as beasts. As Psalms 49, verse 20, "Man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beasts that perish." So you see that men is representative of talking about, this beast represents talking about men. It says, rise up out of the sea. And this sea is dealing with people also. We're going to get Revelation 17. I'm going to go right to verse 15. It says, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest were the whore sitteth are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. So the waters, dealing with any waters, are talking about people. And and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And these are particular people. Okay? These 7 heads is particularly talking about Esau kingdoms, his 7 governments he set up on earth. And his 7 governments that Esau set up on earth was dealing with these 7 kingdoms: Germania Minor, Germania Major, France, Spain, Greek, Rome, and Great Britain. And the 10 horns is dealing with his power here on earth, how he rules this earth through NATO and through the EU. The EU is his economic way of running this earth, and on his power side, his strength comes from NATO, and that's his armies all together. Their armies put together and running this earth. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So let's go to book of Revelation chapter 17, and we're going to make this quick. I'm going to start at verse 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. The woman is talking about America. She sits on the mountains. Over the mountains are the governments, the same 7 heads. Okay, America ruled them. Verse 10, it says, and there are 7 kings. Them 7 kings are the same as the 7 heads, which are the same as the 7 mountains, which are the way he governments this earth, his government. Germania Minor, Germania Major, France, Spain, Greek, Rome, and Great Britain. Okay, 5 are fallen. The first 5 have fallen, which was the Major, Germania Minor, France, Spain, and Greek. And one is during his time that John received his revelation is talking about the Roman Empire. And the other one is not yet. The other one is not left yet. Is the one that's left is Great Britain. It wasn't an empire yet. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space, because Great Britain only been in an empire for a very short period of time. I think a little over 100 years that they was an empire. And then it says, and the beast that is not, even he is the 8th. So the beast that was in part of the 7, talking about Great Britain, and that is not in power yet, Great Britain, even he is a part of the 8th. Okay, and is of the 7, because the part of the 8th is talking about America is going to come. Okay, and it's going to come out of the Great Britain, because this and is of the 7, because America is going to come out of Great Britain, and it's going to be just like it's going to be coming in power out of Great Britain, because before America became a nation, they had to get their freedom from Great Britain. They had a Revolutionary War, and America gained her independence from Great Britain. So it came from out of Great Britain. Okay, and it says, and is of the 7, and goeth in perdition. And America is the only nation. America is going to be that nation that's going to be ultimately destroyed, utterly destroyed, and it's going to become a perdition, meaning perdition, opelia. It means perdition, destruction, waste, damnable, to die, perish. Okay, biblical usage: destroying, alter, destruction, a vessel, a perishing, ruin, destruction. So you get the meaning. The Strong's definition: ruin or loss, damnable, destruction, die, perdition, perish, pernicious, waste. You see that? So America's gonna become that lake of fire, man. At least America's gonna be no more once Howard Shai comes back. And it says, and the ten. Then we're going to the 10 horns, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. Again, talking about people, okay, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. And that's dealing with Esau's the way he ruled this earth. It got set up the EU, and the EU also they have the NATO. And now the EU, when they first came into fruition, it was there was a one of the people on the board. They said this man said that EU was in the spirit of the ancient Roman Empire. The way they set it up was in the same spirit of resurrecting the ancient Roman Empire, and it became into existence in 1958, but it was called the European Economic Community. And when they first started, it was actually 6 countries, but they quickly went to 10. This is where you get the 10 horns from. And the first 10 European unions were Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, and West Germany. And so those were the 10 horns. Okay, talking about the European Union. But once they start to see, that they're trying to offset the prophecy by adding more to it. But Esau can't offset prophecy. And the NATO is his military might. And these nations form NATO, and NATO means North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This treaty means that America will send all its forces, which pertains to Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Reserve, National Guard, to any of these countries that's part of NATO that's having a problem with any other nation that's not part of NATO. So all the NATO members, they will send all their military to form one big military for this whole entire world. That's all that makes up the beast. Okay? Is Esau and his governments and his power here on earth in the spirit of the ancient Roman Empire. That's the beast. That's the whole beast system. We just read it. Let's go back to and let's finish it off. And it says and the 10 horns which thou seest upon that sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and will make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. We see that now. We seeing all these nations. America is pissing off because you got NATO. NATO at one time had 19. Now they up to like 20 or 30 something countries. But I got the 19. It says Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, West Germany, Portugal, Canada, United States, Turkey, Iceland, Poland, Hungary, Norway, and Czech Republic. They are getting pissed off because for once America tried to take Netherlands. So you can see that this prophecy is coming to place where these shall hate the whore. The beast shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked, because they're going to end up the same ones that at peace with her right now is going to end up going to war with America. These same countries, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. That's that nuclear destruction for the Most High. But yeah, we're gonna All right, so let's go back. We're gonna keep it to the point. All right. So let's read this again. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. We understand who the beast is. Esau and his government, having 7 heads. The 7 head represents the his the Esau's kingdoms. That was set up, and the 10 horns, what they represent the EU and NATO, and upon his head the 10 crowns, the same as the 10 horns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy, because that's what Esau does. He's a blasphemer of the Most High Yahweh and his only begotten Son Yahweh Shai and his saints, who are the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Indian, the children of Israel, God's chosen people. Verse 2, it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, talking about Greece, and his feet were like a feet of the bear, talking about Russia, and his mouth is like a mouth of a lion, talking about Great Britain, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and his Great Britain, because America came out of the mouth of Great Britain. England is represented by the lion. Uh, Greece is represented by the leopard, and the feet of a bear is represented by the by Russia. All right, so you go to leopard, you will see this man here on the back of a horse sitting on the leopard skin. That's Alexander the Greek. That's when Greece ruled very quickly. Within his 12 short years, he gained the power over in Europe. Okay, all of that came under his control very short period of time, and that's how a leopard strikes, very quickly and very stealthily, because a leopard hunts alone. So they got to be very strong, very powerful, and very stealthy, and that's how uh, Alexander the Greek, how he went on and conquered. And he wore this leopard skin on his coat, as a coat that he wore underneath his seat on a horse, Salakia. To every battle, he had that leopard skin on his horse. All right, so you see that. All right, and now you go to this is Great Britain, the lion. Out of his mouth came America, and you see that the lion represents England. Okay, this is what John saw, the lion, and that represents England. This is how America is coming into fruition. All right, and then you go to the bear. The bear represents Russia. A bear is the feet, because the bear represents how it's going to bring America down. America is going to be brought down, taken out of power through Russia and his allies when they go to war and during this World War III. And we getting into why this can't happen until after the mark of the beast, which is a physical thing, take place. Okay, so it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, because this is how um, this whole system is set up upon the ancient Roman Empire, which is the dragon, and they gave America his power, because America is the new ancient Roman Empire. Verse 3 says, and I saw one of his heads as it was wounded to death. Same beast, part of the same system, but the Roman Empire fell. Okay? During the Renaissance period, before the Renaissance, during the Mediterranean, Mediterranean, between the medieval time period, they call it the Dark Ages, is when Jake ruled after Rome fell. Okay? That's when his head as it was wounded to death. All right, and then his deadly wound was healed is when the Renaissance period, when the so-called white man came back into power, defeated Jake over there in Europe. Okay, and they came back in power is when his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, because she taken over. Esau took over the whole entire world, spreading nothing but lies and blasphemies. The whole world wondered after the beast, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. The ancient Roman Empire. Everything that America does It's based off the ancient Roman Empire. It's politics, which consists of the Democrats and Republicans. Well, Great Britain, Rome had the plebeians and the patricians. America has one president. Rome had one Caesar. America has the all the arenas, same as um, Rome has. The gladiators, same as America has today. Football players, the greatest, most powerful men, the same as they had back then. Had Jake out there, killing each other, just in front of the crowd to ruse the crowd. Everything that America is based on was after the ancient Roman Empire. Everything, the religion, the architect, the way they build, the government. You see all the Edomite government buildings is the same as the Roman Empire building. Same as the architects over there in Mount Seir, Petro Jordan today. So it says that they worshiped the dragon and gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like unto this beast? Who is able to make war with him?" Who is able to make war with America? No one can, per se. It's the most powerful nation on this earth. They dropped that nuclear bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, So, that was basically getting the point of who is the beast, what it represents, what the dragon represents. We know that it's Esau Edom being controlling this earth through the EU and NATO, which is the power of this beast given by the dragon of the ancient Roman Empire. All right, so let's go down to Revelation chapter 13. In verse 15 it says, "And he had power to give unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." So it's just this system. If you're not part of the whole system, if you're not part of Esau's system, you're gonna be thrown in jail or being killed. If you're not believing in this new when they push out the new world order, then you're gonna be killed. Okay, all that links back to the micro C-hip. All that links back to the mark of the beast. Verse 16 it says, "And he calleth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in his right hand or in his forehead." And that mark goes into the Greek word charagma. All right, charagma means to imprint or mark a stamp. Okay, on the forehead, right hand, or a badge, and it's actually going to be cut. It's actually a cutting insert of this. It says, "For the scratching or etching a stamp," meaning that it's the badge. When you get that mark, it's like you having a badge of or being branded that you are a part of the system of the beast. You belong to the beast now, Esau. Okay, so then we go into the root word of charagma, which is karax. All right, it says to point, a kin, a trench, a palisade, to impel. All right, sharpen to a point, akin, through the idea of scratching. Palisade, a sharp instrument. This is what's going to do the actual cutting or inserting of the chip, which is called a palisade, and that's going to be that needle. So the charagma is that needle. Grapho, which is a part of charagma. The grapho is the etching, the writing. All right, this is what's going to contain the information inside of that chip. So you got the charagma is a part of the whole entire system of the needle that's going to insert, all right, that's going to do an insertion, and then you're going to have this information going to be placed inside of this chip. And this information is like a letter or on a tablet, a parchment of paper that retains all this information about you, about who you are, where you live, what's your blood type, what's your idea, political idea, what foods you eat, how much money you're going to have per month. And they be able to turn it on and turn it off. But all this is going to be on this, going to be information through a number. All right? This is the grapho. That's part of the charagma. That word charagma. That's how they're gonna get this information on you through this number. It's gonna be a barcode, and that barcode gonna contain 666, the key size stigma, which is Esau number. It's gonna be a part of your number. Like you're gonna have an IBM code. That's your number, and that number is gonna contain 666 in it somewhere in there, and that's Esau's number. That's another way. Also saying that you're gonna have that, you're gonna be a part of the beast. You worshiping the beast. You have taken his mark. All right, and this is why these other camps can't get into understanding. Don't understand it because for one, the Lord is not dealing with them, and number two, they don't read, they don't study. You know. The elder apostles of Great Millstone, they give you information, tell you information, but we go and study. You have to be convinced yourself. I had to go and can read this myself. I'm fully convinced. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All that is tied into one. You got the name of the beast. We tell you who he is. Esau, Edom. This ancient Roman Empire, the new ancient Roman Empire, this whole system is set up under him. That's who the devil is. That's him. That chip, if you get that chip underneath your head, you got it. That number of his name, we tell you the number of his name is that number pertaining to your information that's going to also have his number in part of it. That's his number of his name. That's all tied together. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that understandeth count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. It's a man. It is the number of a man. It ain't no actual 7 heads and dragon heads and 10 horns. It's a man. This number is talking about a man. And his number is 603 key size stigma. Okay? And that key size stigma is his number. Okay? 666, the meaning of which the basis of much vain speculation. That's dealing with Esau. That's his number. 6 is his number. And he's going to have that 666 within that number somewhere of your barcode. If you get that chip, it's going to be 666 in it. It's all going to be a part of your barcode. When they scan, it's going to come up who you are and what you're doing, what you're going to get, how much food you got. You ain't about to buy or sell unless you get that chip. It's going to come from the whole entire world, man. The whole entire world pushed by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, beginning with the top elites of the small hats, Amalek. They're the ones who behind all this government. They're the ones who pushing this, but it's all Esau's system. This beast system is the so-called white man, Esau. But who's running it? Amalek, the small hatters. They're the head. They're the ones on top of it. And they're the ones who definitely taking their ass into prison, going into Salaka prison. Well, they will be in prison for a short period of time, but they're going right into slavery. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Murdochs, Oppenheimers, the Gettys, the Morgans. They're going right into the chains, man. So with that, I pray you edified, call halal, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh, Shah, by Hashem, Shalom.